Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Long Dark with Gazbeard. We're in the in the Forlorn Muskeg, and we're in the cave tunnel that runs behind the Hat Creek Falls. We've just spent the night here. We've left the spare bedroll laid out. That way, if it does deteriorate to the point of being non-pick-upable, then at least it's here and it can be used on the ground where it lies. Now, I'm just thinking, we left a climbing rope back in the cave there, and there's a climbing point outside the cave entrance, and although we can't use it because we're heavily overloaded and probably will be on the way back, just as an emergency it's probably a good idea to deploy it. So I'm going to go back through the cave, pick up that rope, bring it out and deploy it before we drop down to head over to the forge. So just bear with me while I go back through the cave. And you can probably tell we're moving quite slow because we are so heavily overladen. In fact, how overladen? No, we'll still be under 50 kilos. 50 kilos is the critical point. Once you hit 50 kilos, you slow down to a point where you really are not moving. And in fact, I've noticed that there's a slight glitch in that if you're over 50 kilos, you actually move faster by strafing sideways than you do by trying to walk forwards or backwards. Now, I'm sure we left the rope down here somewhere. There it is over there. Right. Yes, you can hear from the sound of the footsteps.
Drink right now.
Oh, he's thirsty. We can fix that. There we go. You can hear from the footsteps that we are moving quite slowly because we're approaching about 58 kilos. Now, these cave systems can be quite confusing if you've never been through them, but once you've traversed them a couple of times, they're actually very simple. Oh, there's another stick. So it's worth getting to know them, and one of the best ways to do it is actually to spend some time inside them. Now, we're carrying a bunch of firewood that we don't need to carry, so it's probably worth dropping them here. 15 sticks. That's for the snow shelter if we need it. That's all we're carrying in terms of burnable stuff. So, and yes, I'm leaving those 4 kilos of meat there because this will be a stop off for us on the way back. There we are. We're outside. It's mid-morning. And the climbing point is down here and to the left behind this rock. Up here in the birch forest we're reasonably safe from predators, but as soon as we drop down we're going to be exposed to them, wolves and bears. And the climbing point is over there. You can just see the rocks through the trees. And the primary reason that I'm wanting to deploy that rope is to give us options for coming back up. The wind is against us. It's a really strong wind. And being so heavy laden makes it even worse to walk into. We've just got to bear with it. There's nothing we can do to speed up this approach. I'll deploy the mountaineering rope. That just gives us the option. Now we want to head back, get on track for the route that we're going to use. And we've got to go back to the left of this rock. As soon as we get out of the wind, I just want to very quickly check our supplies, make sure that we've got enough to get us to the forge. I'm particularly thinking about water. Well, we're in the wind shadow, we're not going to freeze as quickly. So food wise we are fine. We've got 2.77 litres of water, so that's not an issue. We've also got multiple cans of soda. Now, because we can't drop down the rope, then what we have to do is we have to go across to the Hat River or Hat Creek waterfall and drop down there. I believe it's the only exit off this ledge other than the rope. And we should be coming upon it just after we go over this ridge line. We are pretty cold. We don't have the best of clothes. We could have gone through the cave and come back out on the cave at the other side of the waterfall. But I wanted to show you this slope so that you know how to use it. There's the cave over there between the trees. Now, you can descend that way, but it's a little bit of a drop. However, if you come up here and you make use of this rock, you can descend here, and you can in fact get back up that way. Yeah, so if you look at that, you can jink your way up there to get back instead of having to go through the cave. The waterfall's there, and it's that little zigzag there that you want to use. Now, there's another reason for coming through here, and that is to grab some extra cattails. Cattails are the main food source in the Muskeg. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop down the creek, and then we're going to swing right and we're going to go around the edge of the Muskeg. And this weather is pretty severe, and that's why I'm keeping those 15 sticks with us. We have the cloth to be able to build a snow shelter, and it's very likely that we're going to have to tonight, because even though it's not yet midday, this weather is being punishing. I'm going to try and get across into the wind shadow of the rocks on the right hand side of the creek. And I thought I saw the bear down there, way down in the middle of the Muskeg. It's not, it's a tree stump. And we're getting no wind shadow off these rocks. We have a hypothermia risk. That means we need to find a sheltered spot. We need to get a fire up. I don't want to burn our snow shelter sticks. Now, I don't think we can get up that slope. In fact, I'm sure we can't get up that slope. If this weather doesn't change soon, we're going to have to find some firewood and get a fire going. Now, as I said in a previous episode, when traversing the Muskeg, you want to stay as high as possible, to stay well above the wolves that hang around down on the edge of the Muskeg. And I really want to get up there if I can. There we go. Because I want to come across it on the top of that hill. I don't want to drop down low. We are moving pretty slowly because of our load. There's not much I can do about that. We need everything that we're carrying. Now the question, I seriously doubt we will get up there. Running straight at that slope would make it impossible. So I'm going to try a soft traverse. And no. Oh yes, no, yes, no. Right, so we can't do that one. Can we get through on this one? This wind, of course, is making life much more difficult. And there's the low blind down there, roughly middle of screen. It's a hunter's blind, but it's a low elevation one. Now we're coming down into a section that does have additional firewood resources, so I'm going to collect these sticks because I think at some point we're going to have to make a fire to drop this hypothermia risk, unless the weather really turns around on us. And it would be an excellent example of the perversity of this game that the weather improved just as we come across the opportunity to defeat it by building a fire to warm us up. There's a good set of sticks here. There's deer down there. We don't need their meat, so I'm going to ignore them. What I'm not going to ignore is the possibility that there are wolves around here. So we are a little bit on the smelly side. So just a reminder, in case you didn't catch it, when we're coming back, if we are not overloaded, we can now use that rope to get straight back up to the cave. Or if we are overloaded, our only access to it is to go round to Hat Creek and then go up Hat Creek and either go through the cave or to use that little slope on the rocks that I showed you. Now we're quite smelly, and I'm just wondering, we don't have any hides or guts on us, so it is purely those 3 bits of meat there that are creating the scent bar that we have. If you look top center of screen, you can see a single highlighted scent bar. It's coming exclusively from those 3 bits of meat. And I forgot to check our weight. We're at 43.26, so we can afford to pick up about another 10 sticks or so for making a fire. That'll put about another 1.5 kilos on us. And we've got wolves ahead of us. I do want to stay to the right here though, because if we go to the left, there's a chance we're going to meet up with a bear. He does patrol over there. Wolves we have several ways to deal with. And if the worst comes to the... there he is. If the worst comes to the worst, we can have a wrestle with him, smack him about using the hatchet. Hatchet is a more sure kill than... sorry, the knife is a more sure kill than the hatchet, but the hatchet will drive them off faster. Now, a couple of little black bits up there that kind of look like coal, but they're not. So, that wolf's over there. And he hasn't seen us yet. Hypothermia risk has healed, so life is warming up. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get around this wolf before he gets close enough to spot us. staying high and making use of this slope, we should be able to do that. Yeah, he's still a mile away over there. Not a literal mile, but it's a figure of speech. Now, traversing the high slope like this, there is a risk that we could get a sprain. I'm not worried about that at the moment because we're carrying sufficient painkillers and similar. Descending this slope, always walk across it to descend it and reduce your altitude as slowly as possible. And there's another wolf there. So we've got one wolf behind us, we've got one wolf ahead of us, and he's just reversed his track. We're probably going to have to either shoot or fight this guy up ahead. Let's just hope he's alone. If he's got a friend with him, then we've got a problem. Again, I'm going to stay quite high. I want to be able to get a shot at him before he starts his charge, because once he's started his charge, or once he's spotted you and barked, I should say, then if you aim at him, he will start his charge. If you can get your aim on him and fire before he spots you, and he's walking away to the Muskeg, is he going to go left or right? No, he's coming back. No, he's not. Kind of hard to tell at this distance. He is walking away. I'm going to get across and get high if I can. I'll probably not be able to get up that slope at all. We'll try it though. One of the things about dealing with wolves is height is your friend. Now we should be able to use this corner piece here to get onto this rock. That'll give us an overview down onto the rail tracks. It does. Question is whether or not I can get down at any point here. I don't think I can. I think it's all a bit steep here. Get to here and have a look back. I think there's an overhang that kind of prevents you getting down. Might be able to get down from the end, but I don't think I can get on to the end. So that wolf is there. I don't want to lose an arrow by taking a tentative shot at him. But at the same time, we can't afford to keep him wandering around because we need to loot the train and gather up any scrap metal in particular that is at the train, because we're going to need as much of that as we can get when we get to the forge. We can avoid him, of course. Oh, he's coming back. Now our arrow didn't hit him. Are we bleeding? We are. So we need to get a bandage on there quickly. And we need to get antiseptic on that bite quickly. There we go. And that's one of the reasons you keep your hatchet as sharp as possible. Each wolf fight takes roughly 4 or 5% of sharpness off your hatchet, and sharpness of hatchet and knife is equivalent to condition. So I'm very quickly going to... oh, we don't have a whetstone. Drat. Okay. Well, we've dealt with that wolf now. We took quite a condition hit ourselves. Look, we lost about 25% of condition. That would be from not just the stress of the attack, but from the blood loss associated with it. And our clothes will have taken a hit. So what I want to do is I want to very quickly run up and down the train, collect any materials that are going to help us at the forge. That's metal, coal, firewood, if we've got the carrying capacity, if we find any. And then I want to get up onto the plateau that runs around the southeast, or rather the western side of the Muskeg, because up there, until we get close to the forge, we're safe from predators. But also there's a cave around there which may well be our overnight stop. Now I'm just thinking, we've already looted the train because we've got the bow and arrow, so we've already been out here and done it. Therefore there's no point continuing this. We just want to... oh, rats, it's not going to let me through there. I have to go to the next one. Let's hope there's not a bear out here. Can't see what... right, I'm going back the way we came because there's no point us being on the other side of the train that far out into the Muskeg. And that's an error by me, just completely not realizing that we've already looted the train. But it was quite some time ago. Can we get through that one? No, but we can see that there's nothing over there. So as soon as we get a sufficient break in the train, we can get through. Maybe this one. Yeah, we'll get through that one. There's nothing over there. So our route up onto the plateau on the west side is that gap in the rocks dead ahead of us. And a quick check. We are warming up, so the hypothermia risk is gone. Our condition's down to 72%. We may want to dive into the cave. We got 4 hours of this weather, which is good. That means the weather's moderately warm until towards sunset. How do I know there's 4 hours? That formation of 4 crows that just flew above us. The number of crows tells you how many hours until the weather changes. Now don't take it for granted that there's no predators up here. I've never come across one on this particular plateau. But that's not to mean that they can't turn up. And also remember, the game is due a major update in December. That's December 2018. So there's probably going to be some changes to some of the wildlife spawns, some of their patrol routes. Who knows, possibly even some additional wildlife. There's a lot of talk of going on from the community anyway. The developers have not agreed to it. But there's a lot of talk in the community that the addition of a cougar or a mountain lion would be good. There's a lot of people calling for the introduction of raccoons in order to be able to craft raccoon hats, or raccoon, Davy Crockett style hats. So who knows what's going to come in December. The only thing that we do know is that episode 3 of the Wintermute story mode is going to be introduced, and there's going to be a redux or rewritten version of episodes 1 and 2. So beyond that, we don't know what's going to be happening. The devs have they've mentioned that there's going to be a couple of mechanics that are going to get tweaks or fine-tuned or made to work more the way that they want them to work. We don't know what those are yet. We don't know how extensively it will adjust the game. Obviously some glitches will get fixed where the devs are aware of map glitches and things like that, but we don't know how many or what or where. There's not that many glitches on the maps in the game. There's a few, not many. Now we're coming up to the area where we drop down to the cave. It's still early afternoon and we are warm, so there's no need for us to dive in to light a fire. Sorry guys, I just muted the mic there while I coughed. Now that deer is running from something. I'm guessing we may have a wolf on patrol down here. Let's just go across to this shoulder and check out. Right, no. We don't need to go in the cave, we've already looted the cave. And we do need to get to the forge and drop a lot of the weight that we're carrying before we come out to get the firewood to back up the coal for doing the forging. And we definitely need charcoal to get mapping, because it's something that we said we were going to do and we've not been doing it. And the drop off down to the forge is just beyond those rocks up ahead, those big rocks. If I remember rightly, I left a pretty good collection of firewood and stuff at the forge the last time I was here, but coal was in short supply, and coal is what gives the forge its temperature to allow you to do the forging. One of the useful things though is that you only need enough coal to get the forge up to temperature, and you can then maintain it there using sticks and firewood, recycled wood, whatever you can get your hands on. Those crows over there are at the dead guy in the trees over the center of screen, just over that next ridgeline. We've already been across and seen him, so we've already collected whatever he's got. There we are, we're into the forge. Got a piece of fur there for fixing the heavy hammer. I don't see the heavy hammer. Oh, there it is. And we've even left a hacksaw here with 3 tins of dog food as well. So we can reduce a bit of weight. We've got another tin of dog food here, though it's pretty low condition. I think we'll leave those 3 here. We'll add that jerky to it. We don't have any high condition sodas. can add that tin of sardines to it. I'd like to add that box of crackers, but we're probably going to need them on the way back. Right. And the heavy hammer's in there for doing... Actually, we need to get the heavy hammer out. Did we leave a red toolbox or anything here? No, we did leave a couple of bits of clothing though. Pick up all these sticks, move them across closer. Those books are for burning. We left quite a bit of coal here, surprising amount of coal. What we'll do is we'll put the sticks here. We need to drop 41 of them. This is going to take a while, guys, sorry about this, but I want to keep that 15 for the snow shelter on me. I want to drop the coal here. Actually, we just break up that crate. That's it. We can then drop the coal there. So we've got quite a lot of coal here already. We'll drop that piece of reclaimed wood there. And we want to drop that metal in there. The reason we're dropping all of this now is so that we can go and get more firewood. Separate the reclaimed wood from the metal. Right, so we need some real firewood, which is the cedar and the fir. We've got a couple of fires on the go over here. Left a couple of cans behind. Did we leave anything up here? Decent paper. A couple of boxes to smash up. Still got a metal shelf under here. Whoops. Metal shelf under here that we can break down. That's going to take an hour and a half and deliver 4 metal. Still got a load of wooden crates under that. We've still got the safe to open as well. We didn't do the safe last time round.
I thought I'd be dying from starvation.
Right, so let's just drop those 4 bits of metal. Building a good stock of supplies in here. He's complaining he's hungry again. Still can't see the deer meat on there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a kilo of deer meat down him. Give him a drink. Just check his fatigue. He's not too fatigued yet. He's going to need a good sleep tonight to regain condition. We've got the heavy hammer, so we can break that down using the heavy hammer. 45 minutes with the heavy hammer, 30 minutes with the axe, an hour by hand. States the heavy hammer 90%. Don't want to use the hatchet. Without a whetstone we can't resharpen it, and we need it for fighting wolves. So we'll use the heavy hammer. We'll break that one down as well. That gives us access to the safe, so let's just open the safe and then we'll be in a position to save. Right, opening the safe, if you've never done opening the safe before, you use the A and the D keys for the different rotations. A to go anti-clockwise, D to go clockwise, and you just rotate till you hear the different click and you see the tumbler light up. Yeah, tumbler 1, 52. So 52 and 10. Now we've got to go all the way back around 0 to re-trigger that first tumbler. $52. I think I said it was 10. 52, 11, and then back the other way again. Ah, 52, 11, 28. So because we went past it, we've got to go all the way back around again. $52. $11. $28. There we go. Safe's now open.
This'll come in handy.
Mucklucks, flare shell, worn insulated boots. Excellent finds all. Right. We've got one more wood crate in here that we can smash up. That's empty. So we'll just get all this recycled wood dropped. And what I'm going to do for now, I'm going to put the mucklucks and the insulated boots in here because they're heavy. We don't want to be carting them around just yet. They're both good finds. I may leave the insulated boots here as backups in case we ever lose our boots on the way here. But the mucklucks I'll take with me. Right, now we're going to need to eat and drink and sleep. It's after regular sunset, sorry. So we need to get a fire going. We've got a little bit of time. We need to get some real firewood. Let's just try to see if there's, and this fog has come in heavy.
I think I need to lay down.
Let's see if there's any tree limbs across here that we can chop up to get real firewood. Those ones over there are too big. There may be a couple here. No, there's not. So that means we're going to have to go up the hill. The problem with that is we need to have a good fire going overnight. And we don't have the wood to get a good fire going. Unless there's some out here. I don't want to wander too far in the fog as it comes towards dark, because we may end up turned around and unable to find our way back. There's nothing here. As long as we've got this house visible to us, I'll go out and have a look just beyond it. Got to be aware that we do get wolves over here. And there's no tree limbs over here at all. Oh, there's one. That's good. Cedar. Let's break it down. requires light to break down with a tool. Now there's the problem, you see. So now we can't get firewood. Hello, there's some recycled wood there. We'll pick that up. So we've got to try and take a gamble on how much wood we can afford to use from here. We're going to need to get at least 10 hours of fire, and although his temperature's okay right now, and even if we went into bed and were warmer, if the weather turned really bad, we could well freeze. The only way around that would be to take 2 shorter sleeps, which actually I think I might just risk. I want to try and save as much of the firewood as possible for forging. Right, so he's hungry and he's thirsty and he's drained, so first things first, we need to start using up these sodas. These will put a few calories into him. 1 soda has almost quenched his thirst. I'm going to use that pork and beans to get rid of the weight. It's also a good high set of calories for getting him through the night. How many does that give him? That gives him 985. We probably want a little bit more. What I'll do is I'll use 3 of those cattails. And I'm sorry this episode's gone on a little bit long. It's just there were certain things that I wanted to achieve in this episode so that we can concentrate on forging in the next one. Right, so he's now fully fed and drunk. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 6-hour sleep while we've got warm weather. We're into day 86, and then I'm going to give him a drink. And then we're going to put in a 4-hour sleep to get him through into sunrise. There we go. And although his physical condition has returned to 100%, he is still just a little bit tired. That's no problem. That's us ready to go into the next episode, forging and making our new arrowheads and all the other bits and pieces we have to do. So, thanks for watching. Sorry this one got a little bit long. There were tasks that needed completed. The next one will be back to the regular length, and we'll be able to carry on from there. So I'll see you in the next one. As always, check the video description for links to my other channels, and please follow me across there. Subscribe to me here on YouTube. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Usual time, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, UK time, every day with a new video for the Long Dark. This is Gazbeard saying thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.